Cheers. Cheers. Welcome to our last live happy hour workshop of the year, and we are making it a very good one for you. You guys are great. I can tell you're already making friends in the chat room. Just so funny. I love to look at that. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about staging, design, color, business trends, tips, and starting points for an awesome 2024. 2024 is right around the corner, and before you know it, the holidays will be a blur, and we're going to be facing a new year with what do we want to do? What do we want to do for our business? So, we are going to talk about a lot of fun stuff. Here's what you're going to learn. We're going to talk about trends versus fads. We have to kind of explain that before we kind of jump in. We're going to talk about the life cycle of trends. Why knowing where things are in the life cycle is kind of critical for our clients and their huge design decisions. We're going to talk about color trends. We're going to vote on those paint company colors of the year, and we're going to do some predictions. We're going to talk about new and emerging design trends. I've got lots: kitchen and bathroom trends, business trends affecting our business, all those good things. And if I give you lots of great information, is it okay if I tell you about a few training specials I have going on for this Black Friday? If that's okay with you, go ahead in the chat and put yep. Going to give you lots of good stuff. Tell you a little bit about my courses. Thanks, you guys. It's good. I can tell a bunch of people are still jumping in. We've got hundreds of you already on. I love this. Great. Okay. You are in the right place. Who is this for? It's really for anyone who truly loves design. So, whether you're a new stager and designer, whether you're just thinking about getting into the industry because you love design, have a passion for design, or you just love to look at trends, maybe you're an agent who loves design and trends and wants to know kind of what's new. Veteran stagers and designers always get a lot of this. Everybody knows I do these once a year and or 1 to 2 times a year, and then I take it and I put it in my trainings because I think it's so important for all of us in this industry, even if you're not in the industry and you're just a design enthusiast and color lover, to stay on top of the trends, especially if we're doing any sort of renovations. Super important. Basically, you're in the right place if you like to see before photos like this turn into after photos like this. So if that's you, go ahead and put me in the chat room. It is you. And I like to feature lots of before and after photos, as many as I can in all of my workshops, and share. These are all of a lot of them are all my people's works. Who am I? If you don't know who I am, again, if this is your first time, my name's Audra Slinky. Nice to meet you. And I started the very first kind of mixed media online kind of business training for stagers and designers way back in 2006. I absolutely love what I do. I blog for the National Association of Realtors. I've won lots of great awards that I'm really proud of. I've been featured in every kind of magazine you can imagine over the last 20 years. I've shared the stage with Barbara Corcoran, Sabrina Soto, Vern Yip. I speak at conventions. But the thing that I love, this is what gets me up in the morning, and you guys know it, is I've trained the most award winning, wonderful people who have taken one of my trainings, whether it's my staging and design certification, whether it's my color certification, my e-design certification, or just this year, I started a vacation certification rental. These are the people helping them do their businesses better and make money doing what they love. That's my gig. That's what I love to do. And if everybody knows, I get so nervous whenever I do these, even though I do them so if you're one of my people in the chat, I love your encouragement. I don't know if you came, but if you did, little heads up. Thank you for being a client. Thanks, Jody. Oh, and yeah, that last training was also just nominated top 4 product of the year. So I'm super proud of that one. So the thing that makes my trends training a little bit different than what you're going to read online or what you're going to usually see elsewhere is that we do deep dive research. I don't just tell you, magic ball, what I think is going to actually trend. I don't just tell you what some of my designers think are going to trend. We actually look at Pinterest search trends. We look at Google search trends. We look at Houzz reports and surveys by experts like you. We look at Etsy, Yelp search trends. And in this case, even Zillow. Now we have some staging trends, search trends. And we also, of course, go all the expert sources and do I have a whole team that actually helps me with this, so it's really not just me. I go to Las Vegas market and we look at what the furniture trends, what's happening, High Point, kitchen and bath design markets, and then of course I base it also on the 3,000 plus designers and stagers that I work with daily who are in the field. What is their takes through my Stagers Connect private Facebook groups, and I have my other private Facebook groups with my training. So it's really great sources, pretty well connected. I like to have my finger kind of on what's going on in the industry, but I'll never just tell you out of the blue. I'm going to tell you statistics behind what is chosen and why. Let's talk about the difference between trends and fads. And I know if you've taken this before, you already know because you're a pro. But if you don't, I think this is important to mention. A trend is more timeless, it will last usually 3 to 10 years. It is more subtle in nature. That's why it can last longer because we can deal with it longer. It's a little easier to live with. It is typically involves altered classics, and you'll see kind of these long trends. I do kind of retakes on what's been trending, and you'll see that these long trends. Usually, like I said, they're more subtle. You have to think, the brown Truscan trend of the early 2000s that we went through we rebounded to the gray trend in the kind of our neutral color schemes, and then rebounded to the white trend. So you can kind of see those lasted like 10 years each, and they do rebound. Now, a fad is a little bit different, but sometimes we don't know when something comes out, whether it's going to be a fad or a trend. One thing we do know is fads are typically less subtle. In fact, sometimes they could be so hot, they peter out. We get tired of it. Toys are a really good example of fads. I use this Chevron pillow because I don't know if you remember, I'm dating myself when I say this. There was a hot moment there in the 2000s when Chevron was like so hot that it didn't trend. It was a fad. Came and went. And I joke that when it gets to Target, it's all over. But actually, I love a lot of Target stuff. Do you like Target? I do. So now I can't necessarily say that. All right. Are you guys ready to do a little voting? When we say where in the life cycle is it, knowing that something's been trending or had been trending for a good, 5 plus years, most of these things, yes. How long you can vote in the chat whether you say beginning, medium, or end. So barn door, what do you think, right? You can say in the chat whether you think that's the end. I'm thinking yes. But this is why, and why I mention these things is because when we're helping clients make renovation decisions, yeah, you don't want them to choose things that are ending. What about gold? Oh my goodness. I remember talking about gold trending. It's still trending. I mean, now it's been trending for a while, yeah, and it's still going. I mean, gold again, it's very livable. It's one of those livable things, but it's funny because as we're making renovation decisions with our clients, if they pick a lot of gold, we're kind of getting. I mean, it's been trending for a while. Black windows framed in black. And now I'm going to get mixed up with your chat. What you guys think? Whether you think it's the end, yeah. What do you think it's the middle? I'm wondering if that just almost didn't is not a trend. Maybe it was so hot that it's petering. I'd love to get your opinion. Boucle, and I don't even know if I pronounced that right. That had been trending, and I still saw a lot of it at the Las Vegas market, which surprised me. Surprised me because I thought it was so hot that it's not very functional. And farmhouse. You guys are great. And yes, somebody said it depends location wise. And I joke with the farmhouse because when I said this last year, where is farmhouse in the life cycle? All you guys are like, oh, we're so done with Joanna Gaines in the farmhouse. But ironically, the Pinterest search still heavily searched for because you guys are the tip of the spear. So you guys know, and you guys are kind of sick of whatever some people are starting to catch on the average group. And I need you to know that you're the rare bird. You're the less than 10% of this country that absolutely is passionate about design. We think everyone's like us. They're not. Not everyone stays on top of this stuff. Not everyone even knows about it or even cares. So if you watched my trends workshop last year, I always have to preface by saying I almost shouldn't do these every year. I almost should do them every other year because so many of the trends I listed last year, they're still trending. Now, I'm not going to mention them again because I'm trying to tell you what I think is new. But I just want you to know that in case you're like, why didn't she mention this trend? Well, it's because I've been mentioning it for the last 2 years. I'm going to try and mention some things that are new, and I like to encapsulate what I think this next year is going to look like. I do want you, like I said, to consider life cycle. And my stagers, you got to consider storability as you're considering what kind of furnishings are trending and how long they're going to last for your clients. So I like to include this before and after photo because you guys all remember when pencil tile was really hot as a backsplash. And this is just a good example of how sometimes we make these renovation decisions and people can tell, oh, she did that in 2014, right? Because that was when it was really hot. And then it fatted because it was just so hot. So we don't really know sometimes how long things are going to last. But I love this, but like to show you, like I said, before and after, showcase people's work and changing it, caustic tile. That could be going too, because again, some things that are really dramatic end up fatting, but much better. So trends expose the era. Remodeling is hot. I know you guys know that, but wait till you see these statistics I'm going to show you. Obviously, going timeless on big purchases. I don't think it's a problem to have fun on your backsplash. Frankly, go crazy on your backsplash because it's not that expensive to change out a backsplash. What is expensive is to change out countertops, a lot of your expensive furniture, those kind of things. So yeah, somebody said that 70s show, right? Here, do you guys remember when this kitchen was done? Remember, I already mentioned the brown Tuscan trend, and so many of us had. I mean, this is a beautiful home, and there are probably millions, well, thousands of kitchens just like this in Southern California. And I love this update that Lindsay did because she had to work with the floor. Sometimes we have to work with what our clients have. And obviously, wood is kind of the new way in kitchens. We're going to talk about that. And blue is very hot. And this mixed backsplash you're going to see again. Oh, good. Good. I'm thinking most people can see. I'm going fast. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure you can see these, but I do go fast. Here is a before photo. And it's gonna take a while. Yeah, some of it. Obviously, if you don't what era do you think this kitchen was done in? Help me out, guys, I think you know. Those of us who are older, we recognize this old kitchen. If you could from the, colored sink and the light box. And this is a staging job done by my sister, where, we can't gut the kitchen, wish we can, but paint works miracles, right? Paint she actually painted the tile, which I kinda love. All right. So last year's color trends. Let's talk color trends, okay? Um, green, outdoor inspired. A lot of the paint companies of the year picked some sort of reddish tone. That was kind of the base color, which I thought was interesting. But saturated hues, warm creams, cognac, soft earth tones, rich golds, contrasting black and white, still trending, right? Those are the colors. We're still in a post-COVID world. The colors that make us feel warm and cozy, make us feel good. Um, but this year is a little bit different. Blue hues are big. I mean, I've been saying for a long time, blue is kind of like the new neutral. It's just been long time trending. It's just interesting to me when we look at the paint companies, what they picked. So many picked blue, and we're going to look at that. Whites are warming up a bit. Again, we're starting to rebound a little bit. Pastels are kind of coming back in. This is, according to some of the experts, strange. Shades of brown, earthy shades, olive, dark greens, still trending. Moody tones, still trending. Um, and frankly, I think, while the hues of 2023 centered around kind of self-expression, wellness, and mood, we're still kind of wrapping ourselves in that big blanket after COVID. 2024 is pretty similar, soothing earth tones. We're getting a little more moody, a little more bold, and of course, shades of blue. In fact, most of the 2024 trends are gravitating towards, and we're going to talk about this based on about a lot of economic circumstances, but bringing the outdoors in, nature, comfort, warmth, sustainability, soothing, what I'm calling kind of experiential. Um, you'll see. We'll talk about it when I get to more of the trends. But these are the colors. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through who do you think picked best. You guys are going to vote. I'm going to show you the color choices, and then I'm going to give you a chance to vote. Now, when I put the survey up, you got to be fast. So get ready to click on it. when I put the survey up. But first, I'm going to show you the color choices. And why is this important? We need to know when the paint companies pick their paint colors. A lot of research, guys, way more than my team goes into it because they know who's buying what and they are the significant trend setters. So this is important for us in the design and staging realm to stay on top of. So Benjamin Moore picked Blue Nova. Sherwin-Williams picked another form of blue, but it was upward, like very good in those coastal areas. Valspar picked, yes, another blue, Renew Blue. That's why I'm like, blue. You'll get your chance to vote because I still got a couple more to show you. Bear went Moody with Cracked Pepper. And Glidden was warming up those whites with Limitless. HGTV Home, which I have to include by Sherwin-Williams because that was your all favorite last year. Um, kind of unusual. Persimmons, maybe where those pastels are coming up. And Dutch Boy and another paint company, which I'm escaping me, picked a very kind of moody form of kind of a green tone Ironside. So I am going to put that survey up where you get to vote. Start. All right. I'm polling you guys. So hopefully you can see this. Oh, starting to poll. A lot of Benjamin Moore I'm seeing. Sherwin-Williams a close second. Bear close third. And even the green Dutch Boy. Yeah, you guys are great. I love all these votes. It's kind of fun to do a poll. I figured you like. And then I'm going to share this when I announce this. Look, I love you guys are putting in the chat, but hopefully you can see the survey too. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending the poll. Looks like Benjamin Moore was the winner, 75 with you. Sherwin-Williams, second place, 46. 34, Bear, 19. You guys are great. Okay, now let me go back to my screen, see if I can find it. Okay, hopefully you guys are back on my screen. You guys can all see, yeah, perfect. So basically, calming, cozy neutrals. We're going to see a lot of that, obviously, for our staging. That's not going away. It's very safe. Here's those moody hues. We're getting a little more brave with that. I love my girl Jackie Lowe. Look at this bold choice. But moody hues allow us to showcase a lot of contrast in a space. And as we know, contrast, huge form of design element that really works well for us. Here's more contrast, Sarah Hewitt, and more moody hues. People are getting more brave in their kitchen color choices. And coastal inspired blues. No surprise there. Blues still trending. And here it's trending in this kitchen. Soothing pastels, rich browns, and even some bright pinks I've been seeing. And part of me thinks that could be just the Barbie move, the Taylor Swift phenomenon. What do you guys think? Are you going to use bright pink? Yes or no in the chat. Maybe as an accent, I kind of like the way it looks in this room photo, but yeah, not an easy one. So for those of you who love color, I do have a color training. And the color training is designed to really help you walk your clients through, and even in your own home, walk you through picking the right color. Because here's the thing, a lot of colors do not get along. And it's not just about picking the right paint color, it's about picking the right finish colors for your space. And with all the renovation going on, that becomes critical so people do not make expensive color mistakes. So I walk you through the offering how to offer a color consultation service. It's a 3-day online training. There's 6 modules, videos within the modules, similar to what you're saying. Thanks, Allison. You're so sweet. But it really does. And then it walks you through being able to offer color consultations easily to clients because frankly, people are very afraid of color. As you see, now we're embracing color more and more. People want to embrace it, but it's also a little scary. We give you all the tools. We connect you to those. We give you the business pricing and the automated marketing. And of course, the cheat sheet, which is kind of invaluable so that you can always pick the right color for your clients. Next, let's talk about these 2024 trends, something new. You guys are great. Thank you. I love the emojis, Patricia. Uh, Before I do, I need to tell you guys because I told you I was gonna say, I am having an early Black Friday sale. So on all of my courses, so not just the color. I know you guys know when you've done this before when I show you, but the color training, my expert design training, my staging training, and my Airbnb. So those of you who are hoping to get a discount using coupon code awesome2024, because I want you to have an awesome 2024. This is the last sale that I'm going to have of the year. It expires Friday at midnight. And yes, you know I do my pre-Black Friday because I'm gone over Thanksgiving week. You know I go to Mexico, some of you. So yes, so use this coupon. I am going to send you an email, follow up with the replay after this, but you want to go live. Before I get into those emerging trends, I have to tell you that I never usually do a sale on all my courses at once, but I want you to end your year well. And I do find that when people this is kind of our slow time sometimes for designers and stagers. So it's an easier time to level up and skill up. Um, so my color, my Airbnb, my expertise design. I don't know if a lot of you know my expertise design really the one is you get 100 plus, you get all my templates in your account. My staging, if you're just new, you want to just get into staging and design because you love it. This is my Big Daddy course. This is 3 weeks. This is the course to start with. Everybody always asks me that, but it's 3 weeks of goodness walking you through how to start a successful business in staging and redesign, and then also covers a lot of other stuff, but particularly marketing, pricing, all of those things. So quick heads up, just letting you guys know before we jump into more trends that that is my Black Friday sale. All right. So let's talk about 2024. Yes, curvy furniture curves are still dominating, but we have a thanks, Sarah. We're going to have a new take on curves. I'm going to show you. Textured walls. We started with wallpaper years ago. Now it's just textured walls, fluted furniture, still dominating walls and ceilings. I'm going to show you some great photos. Contrast drama, obviously that always does, but we're getting even more dramatic. Mixed use spaces, experiential living. That's what I'm going to call a lot of trends that are coming out, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Mixing old with new. Obviously, big on blues. We've already talked about that. And fresh ways to reinvent the space. Lime wash, yes, I've seen a lot of that. I called that even last year. New ways of doing walls. There's so much more product that's coming out now that us as designers and stagers want to use, and the average person wants to try something new. So there's just so many choices, right? We are overwhelmed with the amount of design choices we have because renovation has been very, very hot for quite some time. When renovation's hot, people invest and new businesses come up, and there's always new ways to do things, which is so exciting, so fun to be in this industry. But here is a trend that is more of an outside influence that I'm seeing really affect the way that we're living, and that has to do with the high interest rates. So the high interest rates, these trends really are reflecting people's need to kind of love where they live. People thought that maybe they'd sell, but now they're like, you know what? I'm just going to do a fresh take on my own space, have a little fun with it. I'm going to maybe expand my current living space. Age in place is really hot. We're seeing a lot of that. Again, part of that interest rates affecting that, and what is trending experiential living. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So before we get into that, here's some curvy furniture photos. Pantea, she was one of my girls, Risa winner of the year. Salt and Pine, same thing. They were the Risa winners of the year. Lots of curves going on from ottomans. I saw it all over High Point. Still curving. But this is interesting. How many of you guys have seen this, the double curve? Now, I always say if you really want to look at what's trending, you go to the big furniture manufacturers like Restoration Hardware. It's on their homepage. And this is kind of that convivial seating that talked about last year, but a more subtle take on it. How many of you guys would get a couch like this? I'm just curious. So sexy. You're right, Linda. Restoration Hardware is, so here is that double curve. Now I mentioned the fluted walls. So fluted walls, fluted furniture, fluting was everywhere at High Point still too. I kind of like it on the wall, just another way of adding texture, kind of like someone mentioned lime wash. You know it's big when Restoration Hardware has a whole furniture line that is fluted. And not only Is their furniture line fluted? They're fluting travertine. Now, obviously, from a staging standpoint, we would never get travertine furniture. Way too heavy. Yeah, somebody mentioned that they think it would date. So it's so dramatic. It might just be a fad. We shall see. We'll talk about it next year. So more photos of textured walls and contrast. I love what Lauren did here. Obviously, this is a tile, and then the black and the white. This is a staging job, and obviously more crazy fun with wallpaper. This is an Airbnb. I love to showcase that Nana did. No surprise, we've been paying a lot of attention to our walls, and I told you here's where all those surveys kind of come into place, but we're also paying a lot more attention to our ceilings. So, high gloss ceilings, you know this is important when the 2023 House Emerging Summer Trends report. And what that report showcases is searches compared to this time last year. So, this report just came out. Usually comes out like in I think October. So high gloss ceiling searches were up 800%. So expect to see that a lot in the next year. Tongue and groove ceiling, still painted ceiling, wallpaper ceilings, black ceilings. Interesting. Here is a beautiful example of that kind of dramatic ceilings by Brittany Tiffany. Another thing we're seeing of is these elongated light fixtures. Are you seeing a lot of that? Longer light fixtures. I mentioned that Moody Hughes drama. Yeah. We're more high drama. This is, and look at this. This is high gloss. So kind of sticks, not a ceiling, but on the cabinets. Now, this report was interesting. It just came out from Zillow a few weeks ago, and it's Zillow searches. So for my stagers, this and my agent friends, it'll be there were 6 things that really stood out to them that compared to this type of searches that they're used to. And what I thought was interesting about the 6 things is 3 of them, with what people are looking for in a home, what they want in their home, have to do with what I'm calling experiential living. Trying to make the most of their space, but also we people are now more invested in experiences. So sensory gardens, pathways, the searches for those were up over 300% on Zillow. And cold plunge pools, and a lot of these are driven by TikTok, right? Up 130%. And pickleball courts, who doesn't love pickleball? I just played this morning. I love that. No surprise people are looking for pickleball courts. So things that they can do while they're at their home. And it doesn't actually stop there. According to the House Emerging Trends report, people were looking at making the most use of their space. Again, we're trying to love where we live a whole lot more, and they're trying to do what they can with their basements. So, basement golf simulator searches up were up for that almost 2,000%. Basement family room, basement rec room, basement movie theater, game room, you guessed it. In every single case, those searches were up. So it's interesting to me. And again, and we're seeing that trend. Yeah. Outside living, basement living, making the most of our space. No surprise in that same report, another area searches were up was rooftop living. Up again over 1,000%. When it's up that much, it's important for us to kind of pay attention because people are looking for new spaces to renovate, new spaces to improve. So exciting. Rooftop deck, rooftop patio. And they're making the most of even the spaces they have. One of the things we saw training was called the mud laundry room. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's that mixed use of making a large space, both your kind of mud room and laundry room. Obviously, still trending vintage heirloom. We are kind of new takes on what we already own, sustainability. I think, people are realizing that the cheap furniture of yesterday just doesn't last. It's just not meaningful to us. And no surprise in that same House report, historical style revival, particularly when it came to Spanish colonial. I found this really interesting because, again, when searches are up like over 1,000% for Spanish colonial on House, that's where we pay attention. Is this going to be the new design style that everyone's going to want in the next, couple years? Probably Spanish colonial. So I found that interesting, kind of harkening back. Um, Pinterest search trends kind of, imitated the same thing, the historic home. Boomers and Gen Z are finding ways to honor their stuff. They don't like the cheap and easy. They are liking their thrifting, eclectic design, mixing that modern and antique. And of course, as a designer, we love that as well. Reclaimed wood. This was a Yelp search up 50%. This kitchen. Uh, this was interesting. This actually was showcased a lot more in the last High Point Market 2023. And it was a fresh take on traditional. We're seeing traditional kind of make a little bit of a resurgence, but more in the classic details. So toile, retooled toile, they say they saw a lot of at High Point, and tweed. So interesting, right? I mean, there's so many different fabrics and ways to cover. It's kind of fun. I love it, you guys. Let me know if you're seeing any other traditional details that kind of come up in the chat or any other trends. So much fun stuff. So obviously we mentioned big on blues, uh, and I'm going to mention this kitchen again because I love it. Here is a Airbnb living room, getting a little more bold, uh, with a focus on details. Again, we're kind of taking another look. We were going to move out of our house, but now we're going to take another look at it and really look at those details. People are shopping and updating their homes like never before. Again, those high interest rates are reinventing their current spaces, more than moving. There's still always going to be people that move, right? Always. That's just there always is. Uh, but it's a little harder these days. So there's a big push and big focus on decorating. Searches. This was the Yelp one. Oh no, this was the Pinterest one. I think up 2,400% for decorating. And no surprise here. I always like to showcase this graph because if you had asked me, when I first released my expert e-design training in 2018, people were like, "No one's gonna buy a couch or a chair online. They gotta go to the furniture store, right?" How many of you buy stuff online, furniture online now? Believe me, it was almost unthinkable 5 years ago, but then COVID hit, right? And everybody went online. So you're gonna see more closing, unfortunately, of brick and mortar and more online. People are trusting their online searches. They're trusting their online sourcing. And this graph is showing you how by 2026, how much more people will be doing online. And that's why I love the idea of people kind of focusing on the niche. What eDesign does for you is it helps you put that room in a space visually for clients so they can see it. And I'm still not seeing enough designers necessarily do that. I do have a blog post that shows you how you can make money on one room design plan by mixing in trade furnishings and retail furnishings and doing that design plan for your clients so that they can see the space before they commit to it, because that's the nervous thing about when people do shop online, and that is a trend that's going to continue to trend, is it's important for them to see all the pieces, to see how they work together first. And that's the beauty of technology. There's a lot of new technology for our industry that can combine the trade and the retail, that can do the visual design files. Yeah, I love that. Jill says she loves her e-design business, and you're doing the client a huge service. And I love this is if you want to know how to do a really good about us page, House of Moxie, this is her about us page. And she took my training. She does e-design, but she actually said that she was just going to dip her toe into design. She loves design. So she combines the design with Airbnb design, and she does the design board so you can really see. And I showcasing this because I've been seeing a lot of trends just in this board. Leather's trending, obviously, circular, curvy um, furniture, and the vintage drawer. Somebody said, what do I recommend? Design Files is the software. That's the one that when somebody signs up for my training, they get my 100 templates with all the shopping links. So you could literally take it, give it to a client. What styles are you? So that's why you're not reinventing. Here's one of our design boards in our my templates. So when someone signs up for the training, they get one of these boards. So you can see she used this board and then she kind of did a new twist on it for the client to go into the space. Here's another one she did where you could see she put the board together. And I'm showcasing this one because I love this before and after photo. Here's the before of the Airbnb that she did. And you saw that board real quickly. Here's the after. So they could really see what it would look like in this space. So again, if you want to just dip your toe, Black Friday. Just going to remind you one last time because I know that this is the one time sale that I won't have a sale again this year. This is it on all my courses. So I know a lot of you are waiting on that, especially my current members. All right, let's talk about kitchens and baths. So much fun is happening in the kitchen and bath realm. And again, let's remind you of my take on this because of the high interest rates. People are renovating. They're loving where they live. They're begrudgingly doing those renovations. So, open and organic wood cabinets, wood is the new white, walk in pantries, nature inspired hues, islands as the gathering place. That's been trending for a while. But we're going to see even more of it. Twin fridges, not just one, dedicated beverage areas. Recess lighting, I thought was interesting that I saw more of that. Demand for gray is, of course, fading. So, again, where in the life cycle is it? Gray kitchen cabinets, I'd say at the end. So again, those are important because if somebody thinks, "Oh, great, that's been hot." No, you don't want to totally renovate your kitchen and pick that now because it's at the end of the life cycle. Wood cabinets have been dominating. I called this about a few years ago, still dominating. It's a trend, so it still has a lot of years ahead of it. One of my favorite kitchens done by Christy McCorkle, and the mix. So we're having fun mixing color and mixing. It used to be that we would mix two different cabinet colors, but now we're mixing three and four, and it still looks great, right? This one by Kelly Sharp, uh, the wood island. So island's kind of a separate piece of furniture. She's got the white and then the blue over here. Herringbone is another timeless. It's kind of a traditional, but it is definitely trending, this herringbone. So you'll see that as well. So nature inspired, we mentioned the greens. Here's two green kitchens. What I love is just the beauty of, paint. You can paint your cabinets, having kind of cabinets that you can paint. Now, last year, I mentioned what was trending is that new counter splashes. And here's an example of a gorgeous counter splash where they're just going to take that stone and go all the way up with it. But this year, blending backsplashes. You heard of that term, blending backsplashes? It's a mouthful. And it's basically where maybe over the hood or the range, we do the counter splash, but we blend a different backsplash over here. So not only are we blending different colors and in cabinetry, we're blending backsplashes. We're just having a lot of fun in those kitchens, right? And here's another example of the blending backsplash. I showed you that before, where she did over the hood something different, but it goes well together. People are getting more adventurous, and you know what happens when clients get adventurous? They need us more than ever because they make mistakes. It's very easy to make mistakes when you want to go bold and adventurous. So it's kind of exciting for us. Okay, what else is hot right now is handmade features, custom. People are spending a little bit more on that in the bathroom and kitchen study. 62% we're going for semi-custom or custom cabinetry and even vanities. They're not doing the big box vanities. They want kind of more custom. They're investing in their low interest rate home. And that's important, right, for us to know. So we can talk clients into spending more on long-term items in the home that they're going to live in much longer. So they also handmade items were hot. The same Zillow report that mentioned those 6 items I told you that were highly trending, 3 of them being experiential things, pickleball, sensory gardens. Remember I mentioned that? One of them was Murano glass chandeliers. How many of you guys have heard of that one? Murano glass chandeliers. I mean, I know you know what that is, but strangely on Zillow, searches were up over 58%. People were actually searching for that. That's handmade. Those chandeliers are made in Murano, Italy. Yeah, and they're not cheap. So it's all very exciting that people are getting really creative. Now, this is again, I'm harkening back to kitchen trends. This is that kitchen study that came out a month ago. Um, Searches for kitchen track lighting up 200%, pull down kitchen faucets 200%, stainless steel countertops um, brick walls, it almost feels like industrial kitchen searches have been up. How many of you think industrial kitchens are going to trend or are trending? Go ahead in the chat and put yes or no, because that was kind of news to me, but I can't ignore these house search results. And neither can you as a designer stager. Yeah, mixed bag. We won't know till next year, right? Because sometimes these are hows actually the difference between Pinterest search trends, I should have mentioned this, and the Zillow search trends and the hows is actually pulling professionals, us, and we're the tip of the spear, right? Whereas Zillow and Pinterest is the average person, not the tip of the spear. Entertainer's dream kitchen, walk-in pantry up over 2000%. Walk-in pantry. So those of you who took down your pantry and went with the open shelving, let's close it up again. I'm kidding. Large kitchen island. So all those things were up. So can't ignore 2000%. That pantry, organizational storage solutions. Remember, this harkens back to what I mentioned. People are having to make the most of where they live. They're not moving as much, so they're making the most of what they have or their current spaces or expanding their current spaces. So all of it kind of falls into that, and that's important for us as we're working with clients in designing. Let's talk bathroom trends. Wood is the new white, kind of mentioned, no surprise, same as the kitchen. Primary bathrooms are getting bigger. Sustainability, textured spaces, elegance, aging in place. So this is the one where the aging in place came in really, really hot. People that thought that maybe they would downsize and move and they want that single story are actually looking at that. Zillage tile is still trending. So aging in place in the house study, the aging in place up 140%, handicap accessible bathrooms up 130%, handheld shower heads, wet room. How many of you guys have heard of wet room? Yes, no. I'm just curious. I'm going to show you one. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Or no, no, no. It's okay to say no. Uh, so a wet room is no curb. We're just going straight through. And again, this is, kind of an aging in place thing as well. One of my friends actually does kind of an aging in place construction. They put elevators and everything. Their business is booming right now. So again, I tell you this because when we talk about business trends, you'll see where all those things come up. Somebody said that's very European, and that is true. Love this bathroom again, custom cabinetry. So, big ideas from that bathroom report. Remodels are commanding more bucks. Again, people are going more expensive, more custom. They're remodeling to stay. Wood is the new white. Sustainability and general contractors still in high demand. All right, I love this before and after photo by Lindsay Machado. And you can tell probably when this bathroom was first done, and now, boom. And I love it. Obviously, textured wall. We've got the herringbone in the shower. Uh, Lots of stuff going on. The wood. It's beautiful. Really hot trend we're seeing a lot of is the tubs in the shower. How many of you guys like the tubs in the shower? Don't. What are your thoughts on that? We're just seeing it a lot where people are expanding and they're putting all, it's kind of part of that. Yeah. Somebody said yes, and somebody said no. Not sure on cleaning. Very functional, very good of you. Yeah, we'll see how long this trend keeps going. Here's a before photo, but this is a after photo example. Yeah, where the space primary is getting bigger. A lot of times it creates more space for you because you take where that tub was and then you're just enclosing the whole thing. So that's why it's creating almost more shower space. Because these little tubs are getting smaller. They're standalone. You can get these little standalone tubs on Amazon now. It's so crazy, right? They're not built in, haven't been. All right. Let's talk business trends. Now, this is a really important for my designers and stagers, and really also important for those of you who were thinking about. I saw in the chat a couple of you were like thinking about maybe getting into design. Where's the industry going? How? What do we think? Well, I've got a lot to tell you because here's just some stats. America's housing supply, North America, has never been older. I got this from an email, it just came out a couple weeks ago. Didn't even know this. The average median age of a house across North America is 41 years old. Old. After 20 years, typically, if your house has not been renovated in 20 years, spending spikes like 15%. Um, Here, I want to make sure. And 2.8 million homes across North America have been labeled inadequate for living. You can't even live in it because it needs renovation by HUD. Can you guys all hear me okay? Like to know, go ahead and put yes or no. Just kind of good. Okay. I just want to make sure we're all in the same good deal. Okay. Here's the thing I've been saying for a long time in our industry, and it's never been more true. Builders stopped building houses in 2008 for way too long. So we have a housing shortage coupled with homes are getting older. So this renovation boom that we have been seeing is not going anywhere. So this was the article that I pulled those statistics from. And it was obviously from an investment company saying, invest in Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. But the renovation boom will probably last for years because those homes need remodeling. Um, the higher interest rates, we've talked about that, are also leading to the renovation boom. It's exciting for us in the industry, you guys, because that means there's just a lot of work out there for everybody. Uh, 9 out of 10 homeowners have sub 6% interest rates on their home. How many of you guys have an interest rate on your home of under 6%? Majority of those people have less than a 4% on their home. So the incentive to stay put and renovate and make the most, I mentioned that, is huge. Um, I've mentioned the House State of the Industry report. This kind of backs it up. Oh, look at you guys are giving me your interest rates. You guys are so sharp. Um, this report said it actually interviewed all of us in the industry, lots of survey, lots of pros in the industry, and the positive outlook for the next couple years was very, very strong. More, you had under 10% say they didn't expect it. I mean, that's huge. We've never seen such a positive outlook, that increased demand. And the groups that were the most excited and optimistic were, you guessed it, it was us. Interior designers, decorators, they're expecting great stuff. And no surprise when I showed you these statistics for renovations, so exciting. The top two groups are confident about things looking well. And in case you wondered, here's what that report looked like. And you can see interior designers, less than 8% did not expect things to go great for them. That's huge. Optimistic about the coming years, not just obviously this report came out mid 2023. So this is about 2024, 2025. Specialty design is becoming hotter than ever. And just, the increased demand is still there. So it's exciting, right? Continued rise in online shopping, I already mentioned that. Leads us, again, for businesses, we have to embrace technology, embrace what's out there, leads consumers to looking for design help. There's a lot of overwhelm and direction. There's still a design services backlog. It's been easing a bit. Um, Kitchen and bath remodeling, obviously still hot. Airbnb still hot as more Airbnb competition comes on the market. My stagers wonder, they always go, here's what I've been saying for a long time. My staging training does not just teach you staging, it teaches you staging and redesign. The best way to get into the design world, start staging because it's easier to market at first. Go into the design and it builds your confidence. Now, I've been telling my stagers for a long time, hedge your business. Staging and design is the same side of the coin. It's just about who are we designing for and budgets. And so a lot of my stagers who just dug in their heels and just stuck with staging and did not open their business up to design. All these photos I'm showing you are design photos from my stagers who took my staging training, a lot of them who have pivoted, they've hedged. And I think that's important for designers too, because when the economy comes to, kind of screeching halt and there's more homes on the market, designers should also have staging. These are very well hedged two sides to the same coin for your business. You have the skill sets to be able to do both for your clients. So that's what I've been saying. The staging's not going anywhere, even if less inventory, people are still selling. It's just that you want to be able to diversify. And I've been talking about that, diversifying your services. So here's that backlog. Um, this is Q4 2023. I like to show your stats. I told you that. There's still a average 6-week backlog for designers. 8 weeks in these hot areas, the dark areas across the country. So if you live in any of these dark areas across the country, there is a 6 to 8 week backlog for anyone who wants interior design advice. So our industry is hot. So my staging friends who are frustrated about the staging, guess what? You have an extra advantage because a lot of you have space, you have warehouse space. I've been saying that that's why Airbnb was perfect for you, because you could do big reveals. You could do the receiving of that furnishing. You have those trade discounts and do those big reveals for clients. You just need to start marketing that new service to your clients. I love Christina says she is slammed in Florida. So I know, I'm sorry I'm getting off my, but I want to encourage all of you. There's so much business out here for all of us. If these numbers, they just do not lie. Yeah, I love it. Jill says, if you can stage, you can design. Get out of your fear zone. You can do it. And then here was exciting. Recent business activity indicator statistics. Look at it's actually going up. It's actually heating up for us, you guys. In an economy that is kind of slowing down, we are still heating up, and it's because of all those things I already told you, those big trends. Um, Same house report, pro hiring remains strong. People would rather outsource. They're overwhelmed. Remodels are commanding more money. So a lot of fun things. What is 2024 going to look like? Let's recap. Hot for design and remodeling. Staging is always needed, but consider adding design. I told you that. Or hedging with other services. There's so much out there right now. Embrace technology in your business. Um, there's so much out there with ChatGPT to help us with our business, and diversify your services. This was a post I had to share because it just came out in our Stagers Connect group. Carrie, I love her. She's like, hey, you guys, um, I just want to encourage you. If you like to decorate for Christmas, holiday design is hot. And I have been saying this for years. I have a holiday design training in my staging training. Again, another service that you can offer that a lot of people don't think of. It, I know this is a slower time for stagers and designers. If you're slow, um, she's like, there's 100% a market for it. And I loved the commentary because the commentary is like, Heather's like, I paid for my college doing this. And Staging Beautifully said, I booked 13 homes already this season. And a local design store, they just couldn't even keep up with the decorating. Partner with a local design store Christmas decorating as their designer. And she keeps it really simple. She charges $250 an hour for 2 people, has the client put up their tree, and then she just did the decorating. And then more comments. Carrie's like, yeah, this is my year 6. She started my HSR training. She does a lot of holiday design. She's already booked through December. And then Eve and Love chimed in and she's like, I am booked all month too. And she does holiday design for Airbnbs. Talk about fun design niches that we can all take advantage of. And I've even had people who thought, oh, Audra, I like a little side hustle. I don't want a full-time job. Maybe I do part-time. But I love decorating for holidays. I always say invest one of these trainings, just the cost of one training, one job would pay for one of my trainings that walk you through exactly how to do it and market it. So it's just like pretty fun to think of, because I always say we have creativity in us that needs to be expressed. We need to be able to do this. Whether we are designers and stagers and we do it every day and we just feel like we need to up our game, or whether we just love design and think, oh, maybe not me, you can do it. I'm hoping you walk away from this knowing that you can. Uh, Holiday decorating service searches for that were up Yelp over 20%. So here's a hint, put your business on Yelp. Here's another success story I love to share. And again, it shows the need for us to diversify our services or just even dip our toe. Kristen just sent me this email out of the blue. She took my training and she just thought maybe she'd do a side thing. She's kind of very fearful. She's over 50, worried about starting something new, but she dove in. I was really proud of her. And now she does extensive remodeling. told you my stagers are turned into remodelers, and new construction for the second home industry. So not just new model homes, but new homes for second home vacation homes in her area. So she read her area, she knew what was out there. First year 50,000, second year 120. Last year she did over $1 million. I mean, she is a huge success story, and she has a lot to be proud of. There's just a lot of opportunity. All right, so 2024. Let's talk about your 2024. Let's talk about you. Change is always a factor with our industry. Instead of going, oh, those interest rates, we've got to go, okay, I'm bouncing. I can do this or that. There's so much out there, and we can still do staging. It's not going away. Some of my stagers are still busier than ever, my sister included. Up leveling your business is always essential. You guys, we have to adapt, we have to invest, we have to embrace. I always say I invest thousands of dollars in my own training every year because we are our brand, we are our hottest commodity. You are your hottest commodity. Invest in it. Consider starting a business doing what you love if that's one of yours. I'd love to be your guide if that's the case, but no pressure. Dip your toe in if you want. E-design is a really great place to do that. If you love color, there's a huge need for that because as you see, color's getting more bold and people definitely are afraid of it. There's just a lot of opportunity. And I have an unheard of 72-hour guarantee, which means when you pay, if you do my Black Friday deal and you pay to get into any one of my courses, you've got 72 hours. And if for any reason you don't like, you email us within that time frame, refund, no questions asked, because I know that once you get in, you're going to love it. If design is for you, you're going to love it. So, little reminder, Black Friday. 2024. Do not, I have a lot of people who do this where they buy and they're like, oh, I forgot to put the coupon code in. The coupon code, awesome 2024. It'll save you on every one of my trainings, $50 till Friday at midnight. And I always like to say, if you enjoyed yourself tonight and you learned a little something from me and this lovely hour that we had together where we got to explore what next year's trends are going to be, then you are going to love any one of my courses. I promise you, you will. um, Leanne has a great question. She says that she's learning interior design for this first time. She wants to focus on e-design. Which course? E-design that gives you all those templates, 100 template boards you get. So you're not reinventing. Imagine all the time it would take you to create 100 different design boards with all the shopping links. So we have your starting point. It'll take you no time to start working with clients, Leanne. That's a great one for you. If you don't even know like your business name or how to even start a business, then obviously the staging one is really good for that. Um, oh, you guys, learning the principles of design. That's critical. I teach you that in the staging course. In my color and e-design and Airbnb, I assume you know those things because I assume you kind of have a business. Oh, a lot of questions you guys have. Yes, I have a lot of Canadians take my course, Pam. The e-design boards are with the e-design course and they're all editable. Yeah, and they're awesome because they look beautiful. You can swap out certain things. Of course, I want you to look at them. So it's all very editable, but you have that starting point. Uh, oh, I love Kelsey's up leveling her business. She took the e-design course and she's loving it. Yeah, you get everything you need to get started. Thank you, Kelsey. Yes, I'm in the United States. And yeah, so everything is USD. I see a lot of Canadian trainers charge the dollar, which is crazy to me, but yeah. Um, Do you have shopping links for Puerto Rico? Well, a lot of the sources that we go, they're large scale shopping places. So yeah, they work for Canada and US and Puerto Rico, but some won't. So just look through them and you can swap them out. At least you'll know where we got them. So you'll have your own variation, like if it's Pottery Barn or Amazon or, Wayfair, you've got it. Any other questions on the training? Yes, Justina, Airbnb and e-design go perfectly together. Most all my Airbnb designers start with the design plan and then they have total buy-in. Because when you give a client a design plan, then they're like, here's the credit card. Okay, I get it. This is why we want to up level the Airbnb. I give it. Jill said she did her first flip. So much fun. Yes, scratching that creativity itch. Oh, thank you, Patrice. I'm glad I could help you with your ideas and building. Somebody was building their house. Lots to think about, right? Life cycle. Life cycle. Be looking at that. Deb says she's taken this staging training, my certified training, all my trainings, and she said she loved them all. Thank you, Deb. Cheers to you. Um, yes, Al, I give you not just the templates, I give you these beautiful Canva investment guides that you can customize. I make you look good. I give you all the automated marketing. My job is to make it so that you make money. I really, if you love design, any one of my courses are kind of plug and play business in a box. Yeah, e-design for Airbnb is such a sweet spot right now, and I've been since my course launched, the Airbnb course, we've had hundreds of people take it and they love it. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful holiday season, rest of the new year. I'll be staying in touch. I've got a lot more fun stuff to give you in my email newsletter. So please do not unsubscribe. Stay with me and enjoy your night. Thanks, you guys. Oh, you guys are great.